like care about us, and we care about their like what they tell us.
Right.
Like, they have no idea what's good for us.
That's why it's incumbent on now us to pass on to this new generation. Because the thing is, everything is always going to get pushed forward.
No, but how would we? That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's everything gets pushed forward.
Where we're giving advice. What do we know about the next 5 years that we're giving advice on today?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Again, but that's also why they said be a doctor, because there's always going to be a need for doctors.
But you got to say
there's always going to be a need for lawyers. There's always going to be there's always going to be a need for that.
But what if that's not what you want to do with your life? What if that just now you're in the mindset, okay, mom and dad told me to do this. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I got to do this. I may not enjoy it, but they told me they know. No, listen,
Mm-hmm.
It's like they know because they've been through life. They know certain things. They got answers to certain questions. So maybe they're right. Maybe I should do this. But then, like you said,
they haven't explored the entire existence of reality.
Of course, they know that. Right. But here's the thing. Parents aren't they're not infallible.
Right. Exactly.
And what's going to happen is that along the way, and this is where you're an adult now. Right. So now you're figuring out, okay, this is what I'm good at. Mm-hmm. This is what I can contribute. This is what makes me. No, it's not being a doctor. Okay. Mm-hmm. But when did you learn that though?
A whole lot later.
Yeah. But what I'm getting at is you weren't in the
because I'd be a millionaire. Look, I'm saying this, I would be a millionaire right now if I went into finance first.
Well, right. But the thing, but you had to find out that you like that.
That's why
it's nothing that parents. That's the point up until which parents can't tell you.
Right. What to do.
Because now it is your life,
right? And
and at 16, 17, mm-hmm. You naturally already start to break away from. All right, this is the confines of what my parents are teaching me. Now, and you wanting to be your own man. So you're gonna find that out for yourself. Case in point, your aunt always thought I was gonna be a scientist because at one point I thought that was awesome. Yeah. Being a scientist.
Right.
Clearly, I'm not that. I'm not that. Right. But I figured out a passion for writing. I figured out that that I was good with finance. I'm good with benefits.
Right.
I found other giftings along the way that I can fall back on and say, okay, here's where I can go. And that stick-to-itiveness that I would have needed to be a scientist, I can now put into the areas that I'm involved with now.
I was gonna say, hold on.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say this conversation just turned into something.
It completely flipped around.
But what I was gonna say is that what you were saying, like what advice would we give now is that it's like the advice. Me personally, what I would say, first of all, I think. I'm not a parent yet, obviously, but when that does happen, I would say, like, okay, I'm going to pay attention to what my child is good at, and like what they just do effortlessly good, right? For me personally, it was artwork. So I was in the finance field, and then I figured out that's definitely not what I want to do. I want to be an entrepreneur, and I want to design and create and do all these different things. So... But like I know you've seen me as a kid do, draw and everything. My parents have seen me that as well. But again, like you said, your parents, kind of encourage you to be a doctor because, like Sam said, it's because they want you to aim high. So I guess that's just some of the advice that we would have to give to the youth coming up. And then also it comes down to you haven't really seen what your child is into. What I would say is, listen, clearly you're here for a reason. You weren't a mistake. God put you here for a reason. So that begs to say that you need to go to the Lord and ask him, like, Lord, what is my purpose? And he has all these gifts. Like, nothing. There's a song that I've been listening to. It's called Give Us Your Heart, William McDowell. And it was a live version. And he was saying, like, later on in the song, I don't want to live a life on full. Like, I want everything that God has given me, all the talents and abilities that God has put in me to be put to use. So I can make it to heaven. God says, well done, good and faithful servant, because you did everything that you were supposed to do. You used every single gift that I gave you and put it to use, all for my glory. So it's like, I don't want to, I want to, be able to, I guess being, not even just being a man, but being an adult is figuring out, okay, this didn't work out. So what is it that I'm good at? What is it that, that I do effortlessly? I tell people this all the time. Like, you hear people complain, oh, I don't like my 9 to 5, this, that, and the other. But then I'm like, okay, well, what are you good at? Like, what is something that you do effortlessly that is just easy to you and that is fun? And it's like, you can take that and flip that into something so powerful and something that could really change the world. You know what I mean? And, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to, I want to ask you guys' opinion on something. Would you, as future parents, would you ever be open to allowing that position that you take in your kids' lives? Just okay, one day I'm going to have to give them advice on where to take their lives now.
Right.
Would any of you be open to we all know what artificial intelligence is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The gathering of data to come up with an actionable diagnosis or prognosis for a certain problem, whatever. Would you be open to forfeiting that responsibility in your children's lives and putting it in the hands of artificial intelligence?
Mm-hmm. No, because artificial intelligence is a misnomer. Artificial intelligence
how about artificial intelligence having more data points to be able to make better decisions for your kid? Because artificial intelligence can follow your kid how people have their cell phones now, that have things that the cell phone projects to you. Oh, would you like to go to this restaurant? Oh, did you like that place that you were at? You know what I mean?
Okay.
These things all gathered up into a data set, actually giving you information to give to your kid. I mean, because we can't deny that. Look, technology is a part of our lives now. It's no longer. This is no longer the devil or something that we should be scared of.
It's going to end the world.
You understand what I mean? It's something that we've all come to embrace as something that's very functional and very necessary in our lives now. I see that in the future there is going to be stuff that will gather data in some central point about an individual that can make us make more informed decisions or give better advice to like our kids, as opposed to me being some finance guy, having a kid. The kid wants to mountain bike or wants to do skateboarding. I mean, an African kid who's trying to do skateboarding. You understand what I mean? I need to be able to give advice to my child.
Right.
You understand what I mean?
Here's why I say it's a misnomer. Because data cannot produce itself. Data has to be put there by an individual. And as long as individuals are always fallible, data can always be fallible and corrupted.
Right.
So
leaving it to the individual who's creating that data.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because let's say what's on your phone. Can you agree with me that if your phone suddenly, your personal phone that you've been using for more than a year or two, became a person right now, do you believe that person, that phone can give you better advice on how you should live your life than like a perfect stranger?
You know what's crazy?
No, because
like your phone.
I feel like as much as people are so into their phones these days, that would probably be right.
I'm telling you, man.
But that's why.
But why? But why could it?
Because
we're so programmed.
I'm telling you.
But who programs it?
Right, people did. Yes, absolutely.
And the only way that it can tailor itself to you is if you yourself program it. And this is the point I'm making with our children.
For sure.
What they are, and this is incumbent on parents, especially now more than ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's what we expose them to.
Right.
If if and that's how they'll know if they like it.
Right.
You know, the reason you don't play golf is because that's not your thing, but you were exposed to it. Right. That's how you knew it wasn't.
Hindsight 2020, I probably would have got into that joint, like serious. Yeah.
I think about
but would you rather be playing golf now more than designing your watches?
No, you're right. You're 100%.
So you have to be. It's incumbent on parents now. On what they expose their children to. I want to expose my children to, technology early, so they don't have to, so that, like you said, we're living in a technology-based world, and the technology is only going to
improve.
It's going to keep improving. I want to keep them as close to the curve as possible. So that they're not lost going forward. It's like, we're going to become obsolete. In our child's eyes. I look at it now it's like sometimes I'm on with, I'm helping my mom out. I'm like, Mom, it's like you're not getting this, but then I'm like, but wait a minute, she was my age. None of this was like, even close to being there. And I can, like I said, I can only imagine what be going on with my kids
next year. No, what
the 5,
you can't imagine 6. What it's going to be next year.
Yeah, I probably won't have a child next year. Just, not one that can use a computer, at least. I hope not, If he comes out of the womb if he comes out the womb doing that, hey, guys,
let me tell y'all,
the sky's the limit. I'm a billionaire.
Let me tell y'all a funny story about computers. I just recently told this story, but so my parents are brilliant. I love them, and they just wanted me to get into anything, just to figure out what it is I wanted to do, right? So I think I was maybe like 2 or 3. You hear that? 2 or 3 years old, right? And they decided to put me into a computer programming class. Mm-hmm. So they wanted me to be the next prodigy, which is that's a great, But so I went into the it was a class full of adults too, by the way, and my parents couldn't stay there with me because they in that room, I guess. I don't know. So the teacher, I can't remember her name. I'm so sorry, I can't remember her name. But she was an older woman with gray hair, white hair, gray hair.
You remember?
Oh, her!
You remember? I remember this. But my dad told me the story. So he was like, yeah, we just thought we were doing such a great thing with you, and just to have you in here because we knew clearly they were up on something. They knew that computer was going to be the big thing. Mm-hmm. So I was in the classroom, and they said I just kept crying, right? So I had to take me out of the class, right? So the teacher went up to them and was like, listen, he got one more chance to stay in here. If he cries again, he can't be in here because he's disrupting the class. I'm not able to teach. So my dad goes to me, he's like, yo, what's wrong? Why you keep crying? And my brilliant answer at 3 years old was, 'cause she's ugly. Yo, and my dad's like, man, I could have punched you in the face just now, yo. We all laughed.
Yo, Ed, so you telling me you could have been like...
I probably could have, yo.
You could have been like the next tech giant?
Probably could have. I just...
But she ain't look right,
right? She ain't look right.
Well, that leads us to the next point. We as men are very visual.
Yeah.
So,
That's another topic for another day. We get into that later.
But I think it's something to look out for in the future. That we will need the aid of computers or whatever device that we give our kid to for that device to be with them at all times. That thing is going to give us more data points to be able to make more
other decisions.
No, give better advice to our kids, because that search history does not lie, man.
Yeah,
your search history, it's because it's more of a what you're trying to know about the world. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that, I feel like you can't. As much as you sit down and talk to your kid, as much as you try and be close with them, be friends with them, they won't tell you the kind of information that you get out of like their search history. That it's unadulterated. It's no
Right.
filter.
No, absolutely.
Nothing. You know what I mean?
And like I said, my point is that, but us as parents, we gotta expose them to that because they won't know it if I don't know. They'll find out about it too late if we don't expose them.
And also, I think
if we don't introduce them to it, someone that will destroy that whole data set.
Exactly.
So the whole intention of it could be.
I was gonna say it's better for us as parents
to introduce them
to not even just artificial intelligence or technology, but just anything for us to really introduce it to them, so that we know that we're saying to them in a place of love, of I want you to do this because I want you to be safe.